So the next matchup, 45.5 over under. It feels like Minnesota can score points for fun, and who knows, he's going to be under center for Carolina. I think that makes a big difference as to what this matchup's going to be. But is this one you're attacking for DFS?
I think so. I think Adam Thielen was somebody who I faded quite aggressively in the offseason in best ball drafts. I barely touched him in a couple of hundred drafts, but you look at what he's done over the last couple of games. He's had 25 targets so far at the start of the year. He's been playing very well. And that kind of volume is worth chasing. What he's been doing is playing more routinely out of the slot than he was doing last year in Minnesota. And that just means that he's getting easier matchups sometimes. It's not winning on the boundary, which is definitely a harder skill to do, particularly when you're getting older. Last week with Andy Dalton, Andy Dalton's catchable ball rate was 74%, which was 11% higher than Bryce Young's 63% catchable ball rate, which was dead last in the NFL. So it would be good news for some of these skill position players if we saw another week of Andy Dalton, but Bryce Young, it sounds like he's trending in the direction that he could play. Perhaps Carolina decided to sit him for another week just to give him a bit of a breather. I think you can definitely play Miles Sanders at 5,800. He's probably going to be one of the best value plays on DraftKings. He'll be somebody that goes into a lot of cash game multiplier lineups because he's seeing the passing volume. I think he's leading all running backs in targets so far, which is mad. Yeah. It's not what we expected, but it's what the coaches said over the offseason. Sometimes we actually do have to listen to them. In terms of the Minnesota side, Justin Jefferson, he is getting to a point now where it's very difficult to put him into your lineup at 9,600 on DraftKings. It's really tricky to make that work. But he's had over 100 receiving yards in 9 of his last 13 regular season games, which gets you a 3-point bonus on DraftKings, which is very valuable. And his 458 receiving yards lead the NFL. So if you can make it worth, it's well worth doing. Kirk Cousins, we've seen what this Vikings offense is going to be. Cousins leads the NFL in passing yards with over 1,000, leads the league in touchdowns with 9. So we can keep leaning into that because adding Cam Akers is not suddenly going to make this running back room functional to the level that they might want. We saw a better week from Alexander Mattison last week when, oh, surprise, he wasn't playing one of the best run-stopping teams in the league. So I think you can probably still play Mattison, but there's no chance I'd be playing Cam Akers. I don't care what kind of draft pick you sunk into Cam Akers. You need to take a wait-and-see approach on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can touch on Akers until you've seen exactly what it is. The one player that I am super excited about this Minnesota offense is Jordan Addison. He's the wide receiver 25 in points per game at the moment. And as you can see on screen there, those route run numbers are increasing week in, week out. He's still running behind KJ Osborne in 2 wide receiver sets. That's got to switch at some point. The guy's just producing. He's a far superior player to KJ Osborne. And when he is running 90, 95, 100% of routes, there's even more upside. And this is a guy that's currently, a back-end wide receiver too. I think his ceiling is massive. And in Dynasty, if you can go and buy, this might be your last buy window because I'm super excited about what's coming in the next few weeks.
Also, the value of the targets that Jordan Addison's get, like last week he had 8 targets that Kirk Cousins threw for a ridiculous amount. But he's getting those downfield targets. He's getting those high value targets. So it can be frustrating. Like last week, I had a good DFS lineup with Jordan Addison in and waiting throughout the game for him finally to get those targets and those catches. It was painful. But if you can just take a chill pill and just relax, it's, more than likely going to come good on the play most weeks.